everyone. Welcome back to the Screen Society podcast that covers all things TV, movies, and everything you get on your screen. My name's Logan, and today we are joined once again by Jordan to talk Scrubs, season 10, episode 6. Jordan, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Good to be back. Talking Scrubs. Only got like 3 more after this.
Yeah, we were just talking offline. It was like it's already season, or it's already episode 6 of this show, and you're like, yeah. I was like, dang, this is
Season
going by
6 would be wild.
Season 6 would be wild. That's it would be quite a time jump. I would have to go back and do all the notes and stuff. That'd be nuts. That would not be fun. But Jordan, we're gonna jump into Scrubs right here. And honestly, another episode. I mean, just quick reactions. Another one that felt very Scrubs-esque. So I want to get your thoughts on it, and if you had the same thoughts, or you're like, dude, you're crazy. It was awful.
The second one, I'm just kidding. No, I think it did feel a lot like Scrubs. I think probably by the end of this season, and if it gets renewed, we'll probably be able to stop saying that next season.
Yeah, right.
Like, I think it'll just be, this is Scrubs now.
Yes.
You know, like we're kind of still working out the weirdness that is watching a show that feels like it hasn't lost a step.
Yeah.
20 years later. And we're still trying to be like, is this the same? I think it is. Feeling pretty good. And I think next season we'll probably just be able to be like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think it's because shows have had a hard time with reboots, revivals.
Yes.
I think that you're kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop and it not be good. And so far, I actually do. I'm starting to recognize the same patterns. A lot of what JD did internally this episode really gave me the vibes. Even he and Turk's interaction in the cafe really gave me good vibes. So again, like you said, I know we keep saying that every time we jump in. This felt like Scrubs. It felt like Scrubs, but I think it's because we're trying to protect ourselves from a little bit of a letdown. But yet, here we are into episode 6 already, and it's pretty much felt the same. So, synopsis of this episode: JD and Dr. Park, or sorry, the title of the episode is called My VIP. The synopsis: JD and Dr. Park are forced to work together when a member of the hospital board experiences a mysterious health crisis. Turk helps Elliot navigate a newfound romance. The interns practice vulnerability with patience. And this episode aired on March 25th, 2026. Writer, I don't have a list of the director. Like IMDb doesn't have the director on here, which I find very strange.
Wikipedia does. I'll find it real quick.
But it just has their writer, Mark Stegman, and then it just has the actors listed of who showed up in this episode.
So this episode is actually, Mark Stegman. It was directed by Gail Mancuso.
Okay. Thank you. I don't know why IMDb was just like, nah, we're good.
Gail Mancuso directed episodes of like 30 Rock and Modern Family. So another, very established sitcom director.
Okay. Yeah. So again, like I said, I thought this was a really strong episode, and I guess we can jump into a little bit of recap here. And then talk. I know this usually ends up, we start to recap and then we just kind of jump into it. So we can kind of talk about the characters. But Jordan, it continues on from our last episode where the focus is starting to become JD / Elliot moving on from this divorce.
Yeah, she's got the pilot is now her boyfriend, they say.
Yeah.
That was kind of a big jump, huh? That was quick.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be so quick.
Like defined.
Yes, but we start out the episode with JD. Honestly, I thought I was watching last week's episode because it kind of opened the same way, where it starts out with JD first walking through and talking about how he's moving on. But I love Jordan. They kind of give a little bit. I thought I was on the money in this episode because it has Tosh and Asher kind of have this moment of they're going to put EKG stuff on the guy, and they have this moment where they're face to face, and it's like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get Asher and Tosh together, and then Amara and Deshauna are putting they're doing something. It's like the like a liquid like shoots up into Blake's face, and I was like, okay, so Amara and Blake, and I was like, all right, my prediction is gonna be correct, but we'll find out later. No.
I couldn't tell you, Logan, how much I was laughing at how wrong you were. Watching the episode and being like, Logan was so wrong. They've actually just went and made Asher and Amara seal the deal.
I was so ready to get on this episode, like I just said, because Blake grabs Amara and like Tasha and him are only like making out almost. I was like, yes, Jordan is gonna be wrong. I got it right. And then damned if I was like, damn, Jordan got it right. So I love admitting when I'm right. I'm not always right. As some
you love admitting when you're right. Is that
I love admitting when I'm right. Yes. So
I like admitting when I'm right too. That's great. I don't like admitting when I'm wrong.
Yeah. So Jordan, we got a really funny scene to kick this off. He's talking about like relationships and how, you know, things can, and actually, I think 1/3 of relationships start in the workplace, which is really funny. That's where I met my wife. But yeah, I think we're getting allusions to the fact that.
Does mine count? Because I was set up on a blind date by my coworker. Does that count? I don't think so. But
no, but like adjacent, yes. Like
it's kind of adjacent, yeah.
Yeah. That's a great point. Maybe we should look that up. Maybe that's on Wikipedia. But yeah, Jordan, like over 50% of relationships to like start I know a hospital, or like there's 50% or 60% of relationships of people in hospitals start at the hospital, which is wild stat. But Jordan, we get JD interacting with the harp player, and he goes, "Yeah, sometimes relationships just don't end well." And we got the volunteer harp player back, and she's not happy with JD, and I think threatens him with the mob, which was really good. And I thought that I thought she was done. But then right away, Jordan, we get Dr. Park, and you and I talked about early on in the season that we thought Dr. Park would be more antagonistic, but then he disappeared for like 4 episodes. We got him back last episode. But what were your thoughts on Dr. Park in this episode? Like, what are you feeling the vibe right now with him?
Well, I think it's funny. Everybody says he disappeared for such a long time, but it was really only 2 episodes.
Was
3
it 2?
and 4 didn't have him.
Okay.
But because we're watching weekly, it does feel like a long time. Because at that point, that's like, 2 full weeks that you're going without seeing Dr. Park. Or maybe it was 2 episodes. Because he was in the first 2, and then there was 3 and 4, and then he was in 5. Sorry, what was your question about Dr. Park then?
Just like, what is your vibe? What's your vibe on him? Like, are we
too busy correcting you that I didn't think of it? Okay.
See, you like admitted when you're right too.
No, I like this dynamic here. It wasn't like this episode's wasn't as antagonistic. I froze. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you still.
Okay. It wasn't as antagonistic as I thought it'd be. They kind of almost walked that back a bit from the first 2 episodes. Like last episode, it was just more of like Turk thinking that there'd be an issue with JD and the harpist, and Dr. Park didn't really care. And then we have this episode where they're just kind of having to work together. So I'm really interested in how this relationship's going to go.
I love when he gets on the elevator and JD's like, "I can see you pressing the door closed thing." And he goes, "I know, I'm not trying to hide it."
Yeah.
I think we've all been in that situation where you're kind of like, oh my gosh, because elevator conversations might be the most awkward of conversations. Like, I have to use the elevator sometimes at work, and I'm just like dreading on like having to, because I am not a small talk person, and I just can't do that very well. So I'd be there like clicking the close button. All right. Yeah, you mentioned it. We get Wes, who is our pilot, who is sitting at the table with Elliot, and we find out that they are now boyfriend and girlfriend. And JD and Turk are having their own tiff. And Jordan, we find out that Turk says that he thought he saw a CFO and
UFO.
or sorry, UFO.
See,
And
if I saw the chief
UFO,
financial officer.
yeah, I've got too much going on in my head. I read the FO and I was like, what is this? But yeah, we got Turk arguing with JD, and he was like, that is not a UFO. And then I didn't get this part, but I think he was talking about like how this guy was a pilot and protecting I guess the world from aliens, because all of a sudden like Turk salutes him, and I was like, I don't understand why he saluted him. Like I didn't get that part of it.
I think it was just supposed to be like a respect thing with
Yeah.
him being a pilot. Like he looks up to him because he's like a pilot. Because even he's excited when he gets the wings too.
Yes. Yep. Because they're like, do the airplane pilot voice, and
Yeah.
he's like, it's like I'm not gonna do that, and he's like, come on, please do it. And Jordan, this happens in season 1 through 8. Like whenever JD has to kind of deal with Elliot after their many on and off stop go in their relationship, I feel like we get a lot of JD poking at Elliot's new boyfriend because
nobody cares,
yeah.
Sean.
Yes. Because I feel like Elliot's always got a good like replacement for JD, but in Elliot fashion, she's just so self-deprecating and like just looks for any reason to nitpick the relationship that she takes it any time that she can get it. We have JD say eagle in this one, which is back to the original when he would oftentimes, I guess he sees himself as an eagle, a majestic creature of sorts, which is always funny to me. That we kind of bounce back and forth between that, but yeah, we find out Jordan the whole episode is going to be centered around this board member, and I can honestly tell you, working in a hospital, that when a board member or a board member's family comes in, that they are taken care of, because they do put a lot of time and effort into. I mean, board members, Jordan, are oftentimes people that are not employed by the company. There are people that sit over the company and just kind of keep it. They're usually from other businesses in the community. Yeah. But this VIP, Jordan, did you recognize this VIP? Because I feel like they're in one show that you watch and they're in one show that I watch. But I was like, who is this guy? Because did you ever watch Dexter?
No.
Okay. That's where I thought maybe you would have some overlap with him, because that's the show he's in, that I was like, oh, Jordan might know him from Dexter if you
let me see. Let me see if I know him at all.
Okay.
I'm gonna scroll his IMDb while you talk.
So he's in Designated Survivor. He's also in West Wing, but I know him more from Designated Survivor. He's a country politician that kind of has this conflicting agenda to Keith Sutherland's character. And he is very good. So I thought that maybe we were going to get more and more of him, and maybe we do. But he's a great actor. I really enjoy him. And I think I did. For some reason, I thought, like, when I first saw him, so the actor's name, I should have pulled this up before.
Jeff Pearson.
Jeff Pearson. Yes. He was, he's Mr. Walton in this. But I feel like, Jordan, we had a lot of discussion, because remember, Jordan was on the board as well. So I was like, all right, we're back into that. So that made me feel pretty comfortable, because I was like, all right, we're back to board members in Scrubs.
Okay, so there are some episodes he would have been in other shows I've watched, but I don't like
recognize him.
Yeah, it's just like one episode here or there. Yeah, of like 3 or 4 shows. So I've probably seen him in those roles.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in Friends.
I'm trying to think. I saw that and I was trying to think.
Mr. Franklin, the one with Rachel's date. Season 8. So potentially he could be like a... I don't know. It looks like Joey was on Days of Our Lives or something. So maybe it could be something there.
Yeah, I was trying to think of where he would be. I don't think he's an older guy. I don't think he'd be dating Rachel.
I mean, he wasn't. I mean, he's older now.
Yeah, but like he's still like, I mean, he's what?
This is 22 years ago.
Yeah, but he's like 65, 70 now, and she's probably 50 something. So I guess she did date Tom Selleck, and Tom Selleck's older.
Like Tom was at Rachel's work. He was apparently at Rachel's work.
Is he her boss?
Mr. Franklin. Oh, he interacts with Chandler?
Huh.
Yeah, he looks way different because his hair was not fully gray.
Yeah. Well, at least it's attached to his head still. Mine's gone.
Yeah.
Jordan, we get a funny line here. JD and them were talking about the board members, and they call it code caviar, which means VIP. I find that very funny whenever one is admitted into the hospital. He asks who the VIP is, and they found Mr. Walton passed out in his home. And JD goes, "Is Walton the older white gentleman who golfs?" And Park goes back and he goes, "They're all older white men that golf."
Yep.
Which I found very fitting for board members. As you might care to guess, there are a lot of older white men sit on boards. Jordan, would you ever be a board member if somebody asked you to be? Like, I feel like it's such an out of
no, because I don't know enough of what they do.
Like, okay, so I can tell you because I've been in enough of these. All right, so board members are oftentimes passing bylaw, passing like, so they'll get like standard like operating policies, and like they'll get where the hospital's donating money, who, you know, a lot of times with C-suite members, they have to you have to motion to approve certain hires. They also go into like payroll and that type of stuff. So they actually make a lot of decisions that you wouldn't think that they would have authority to make decisions on. And they try to a lot of it's personal interest, a lot of it is company interest. So like if your company is big into philanthropy, or donating through foundation, a lot of times funds are decided upon giving money to. But they also, board members are also instrumental in finding resources and funds for a company. But I
Doesn't really
personally
sound like my style.
yeah, but I was just like, I just don't understand the interest of being a board member, just like serving on the board for an HOA. Like, I mean, I guess that's a little bit more of like that has something to do with me, but I feel like board members, they're always outside entities for the most part that are telling another company how to run itself, which is always confusing to me. But anyway, Mr. Walton is always passing out, and they're trying to figure out what that all entails. Dr. Park starts throwing insults at JD, and JD goes, "Dr. Park, I know that you've been insulting me because Dr. Cox keeps forwarding me the nasty word emails you always send him." But they're trying to find somebody to do the I guess the, what do you call it, in the trenches kind of work, the scut work, the work nobody wants to do, getting all of the fluids, bodily fluids, to run him to the labs because they're trying to figure out what's going on with him. So they deem Asher to be the worthy one. And he goes, "Asher, you haven't really screwed up in a week or so. So you're our guy, and you're going to help us out in running feces and blood and all that stuff to the labs whenever he's needed." And we get a funny one with JD holding out the bedpan, and he's like in an English accent, like Oliver Twist, like, "Can I have some more, please?" When he's talking about the bedpan. So that was a good one. What else? We get a patient, Jordan, with Deshauna and Amara are treating with Turk. And this patient is flighty. She's always leaving before she can actually get surgery performed on her. And Amara and Deshauna are not pleased because Deshauna's like, she's not going to escape from us. And Amara's like, just so naive. I think she just kind of follows whoever she's going to follow. But then we get started into our real, I guess, our B storyline with Blake. So Jordan, Blake is having, and Dr. Reed, Elliot is trying to figure out why people keep returning to Blake's, after Blake's discharged them, they keep returning. And
asking for a new doctor.
Yes.
Because at first I misread this until they explained it again. And then when I watched like a second time, I understood what they were trying to say.
Yeah.
Because at first I thought they were just coming back to see him again because he's handsome. But what it is, right, is that they ask for another doctor so that way they can share their real issue with the unattractive or not as attractive doctor, so that the hot doc doesn't know what is wrong with them if it's embarrassing.
Yes.
For like the one girl, it was that she hadn't like pooped in 4 days or something.
Yep. Yeah. I guess this is a real thing. Like I I'm guilty enough of not going to my physician as much as I probably should. But I don't feel
Because
like
you're
this was
there all the
ever.
time.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. I'm in the hospital. Something happens, I'm there.
Yeah, you're like, John, just take a
Yeah,
look
just
now while
help,
I'm
man.
here, please.
Yeah. We got the old pharmacist hit on Blake, which was really funny, and then he smacks his own ass, and Elliot's like, "What was that?" She asked. This was great, and this is where I'm starting to see Tosh more and more with her comedy being really good.
Yeah.
Elliot's like, can you go undercover and find out why Blake is patients are coming back but asking for different doctors? And she goes, yes, I can do a perfect Russian accent. She does the accent, and Jordan, I thought she sounded just like what the hell's her name?
Natasha
Thank you.
from
Yes.
Avengers. She
Yes.
did. Or Florence Pugh's accent
Yes.
too.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Elliot says it doesn't really sound that great, but I thought it sounded pretty good.
I did too. I was like, that's actually a really good Russian accent. And I did. I thought of like Yolanda and them, and I was like, that sounded just like, what's her name?
Yelena.
Yolanda.
Yolanda.
Yolanda is another character in my other show. So I'm just going to stop talking on that side. But yeah, we're going to stop before I get going in. But Jordan, we get Mr. Walton going through the hospital in a wheelchair, and they're kind of moving him to discharge him because they're not really finding anything that is causing this, but low heart rate. And he's got a wife that's probably 20 or 30 years younger than him. Definitely.
Well, the actress is like 55 or so.
Okay.
58. And
Okay.
the actor was 60 something. So at least maybe 10.
Okay. So definitely somebody that is going to be set up for the stereotype of a gold digger. Somebody that's just in it for the Black Widow. Like what I learned. When did I learn this? Was this last episode? Was the Black Widow? Oh no, it was Sibby, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Sibby.
Yeah.
Not in this episode, Sibby.
Right. I just thought about that. I was like, wait, she isn't in this episode. Maybe Dr. Park and her are on the shared salary or something. They just show up when the other one's not there. But yeah, Jordan, just low heart rate is what we find out might be wrong with Mr. Walton. They're like, you're going to be fine. And he's like, it was good. He asked JD if he ever goes golfing, and JD's like, yeah, I go play AT every once in a while. Then he talks about the windmill. So he's clearly talking about putt-putt again. But they do. And then Jordan, we get another scene. We get, who is it? Nurse. What's the nurse's last name? Nurse Raymond. We finally get that scene that's been in the trailer about the nachos, like the table nachos, which has become this big thing. You just throw nachos on these tables, and they go. And JD's trying to give an inspirational talk about table nachos, and they're trying to, they're celebrating, they're having their nachos, and then get code caviar, and back comes Mr. Walton. It's like, what is happening? He was just stable when we got him out of the hospital. And then she goes, I gave him a smoothie, he just collapsed. And then that's when it goes, Dr. Parks, you thinking what I'm thinking? And JD's like, did I leave my coffee mug on the urinal again? Which, if you're a coffee drinker, that is the worst when you're going to a meeting and you have to go to the bathroom before. You're like, where do I put my coffee mug? I don't want to sit on the urinal. So you just kind of sit on the sink. But Jordan, they think it's a bunny after his money. So setting up the episode, we finally are getting to a point where we might think that she might be doing something to maybe kill Mr. Walton, Black Widow it. We then have Turk, Jordan, because the whole episode with Elliot is about trying to find out if Wes, the boyfriend, is just like a pilot manho, is basically what Turk calls him. And Turk is trying to like dig, and Turk actually goes like, yeah, if I was going to each city, I'd have, he actually, which I was shocked. They actually let, he calls various hoes and area codes. I was shocked that they let that on TV still.
Really?
Like, yeah. I don't know why. I just feel like on an ABC channel, that would have not have been something they would have allowed in 2026. But I don't know. Are we still calling people hoes, Jordan?
Yeah, we are.
Oh shoot! I about took out my whole lighting fixture. So
Hoes
Jordan,
before bros,
right? But we find out Wes is a stand-up guy. They both were heating up butter in their hands, which was really funny. And then they
Oh
go, "Oh,
yeah,
we
to make
buttered each other." So
they clap the high five with their buttered hands.
yeah, that was really good. Amara and Deshauna end up losing their patient after they said they wouldn't lose their patient, which again that just becomes, I think that's just kind of a side thing to show. It's just used for comedic things.
It's a B
Um,
plot, right? We
it
have
is.
an A plot, a B plot, a C plot. This is actually probably
Yeah,
the C plot.
I was gonna say probably
Um,
C.
the B plot is probably the Tosh and Blake, and
Yeah.
then the A plot is JD and the VIP.
Yep. Um, But yeah, we got Amara and Deshauna. They're gonna go start looking for this lady that's just disappeared. We have some flirty moments between Asher and Amara. Um, and Jordan, we finally get them sleeping together. So you called it. I did not see this coming. I thought we were going to get maybe Amara dating other people, and Asher would have to kind of.
I was happy. I was surprised it happened this fast, but
Yeah.
I was very happy to be right.
Yeah. I did. I just thought maybe that they would present, and maybe they still will. I'm still out there. I'm hoping that I'm not hoping. That sounds bad. I am still in the mindset of like they're going to make Asher suffer through her dating somebody else. Is what I still
Maybe. I
kind of
mean,
feel.
yeah, it could happen sometime down the road if
Yeah.
this falls apart. You know, we
Yeah.
had the will they won't they with JD and Elliot,
Yep.
where they were constantly changing partners. So you could do that with this. But I'm wondering if we're actually going to get more if this says a second season, which, yeah, we'll talk about the ratings in a little bit. But what do you think about Tosh and Blake? She's very resistant to him, and I'm wondering if that's going to be like the almost like a Barney Robin thing, right?
Yeah.
Where like Blake is like the Barney,
yeah.
and Tosh is like the Robin, where she's like, I don't find him attractive, but then like something changes.
Yeah. I think this is where you can talk about Blake and Tosh. Like, obviously we are, but like, I think the cool thing about it too, like you said, resistance. I think that is actually a really good word to use to describe how she's felt towards him. And she's not really, she's kind of immune to he's such a good looking dude. She makes fun of him in this episode because we find out that he might have been a thick kid, that he hasn't always been chiseled the way that he has looked. Jordan, you nailed it when you said, he looks older than the rest of them. He acts older. And then as we've gotten further into it, we've kind of getting hints that he is older than them. But you nailed it because, like, damn, Jordan was right on the money with this one. So maybe Jordan, you've written this show and you didn't tell me because you know what's going on all the time. But
well, to be fair, I was quoting also. There was the podcast with
that's true.
Raph and Donald Faison, and they said that one of them was older.
Yeah.
It was like 35, and I just didn't know the actor's name. And when I looked at his age, he was my age, which is approaching 35, and the rest are, I guess he said 6 years younger. It feels like a little more than 6 years younger, but I guess that's how long medical school takes. So
yeah. But yeah, no, I think you're right. I think maybe Tosh and I think that would be a fun relationship. He's not
good for her following too. So if he's the hot
right.
doc, I mean, he's going to get an increase on social media.
Yeah. I do feel like he's confident, Jordan, but he's not unlikable. He's not like arrogant. Like I will always compare to kind of like Grey's Anatomy because this is kind of that same kind of feel at times. Like Alex Karev in Grey's Anatomy, he starts out like an ass, but then you come around on him. But like we haven't really had that. Like I guess Park would be the closest thing you kind of have to a guy being kind of arrogant and full of himself. But I think there's reasoning in behind it. But I love that Scrubs has taken this where it's you can tell Blake is going to, because he doesn't admit exactly, right? Like he hasn't really said everything that's happened to him in his life. He just kind of alludes to the fact that he is older and took him longer to get to where he is, right? Because I don't think he ever explicitly says like, here's what's really gone on with me.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to question it. Like this, we kind of get hints that he doesn't even really say he used to be bigger.
Right.
That's what Tosh infers. We also saw him know exactly how he was going to get mugged, which means
Yes.
he probably was in some trouble and did those type of things as well as a kid. So we don't
Yep.
really know what type of history he has, but there's like little clues here that maybe can either add up to one thing or it's all of these things,
Yeah.
right? Maybe he was a little chubbier and then got fitter, but then also went through hard times and had to steal.
Yeah.
And maybe he had drug issues. We don't really know, right? There's just
Yeah.
like this um it's kind of like multiple choice, but also could be all of the above.
Right. Because we do get that scene where he's talking to the guy that has been an addict and he had a pamphlet and he said, "Here, this is the number that I called when I was in trouble." So I think you might be right. I think maybe he did get into maybe some drug problems or dealing at times, maybe. And then that would make sense if he was having to pay for things or wanted more drugs, like he would maybe mug people. Um, so we do get an allusion to that.
I'll have to go back to last week. Was it for sure a drug guy he was
I
talking to,
think
or was it the mugger? I
it
thought it was the
It
mugger.
might have been the mugger. Maybe I was wrong.
And I thought maybe because he knew how he was going to get mugged, he has gone through that before. So he
Yeah.
was sharing with this guy how to get out.
Okay. Yeah. I think you might be right because the
And I
guy,
think
I
that's
think it
what
was
made
him.
Amara like dig it is like, oh my God, this is a guy that robbed us and like put us in this. And he's like putting aside his differences with him to help, so it could be anything, right? Like we'll,
Yeah.
we'll probably get more, especially if when we get more seasons, right? We're
Yeah.
going to get more of these characters.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a really that's a really good scene between those two when Tosh and him are trying to kind of figure out what's going on there. Jordan, we get we get a little bit of Dr. Park. Dr. Park talks about um, people, and they're trying to like talk through relationship stuff. And Dr. Park kind of empathizes with JD and stuff he's going through with Elliot. And he's like, "Yeah, it would be tough." He goes, "It's kind of like going through." And JD's like, "All right, I'm finally getting some breakthrough here with Dr. Park." He's like, "I went through 10 years of a divorce. It's crazy when you leave for a medical, or sorry, when there's somebody leaves for a conference and they cheat on you when they're at a conference." And he's going in through like, oh man, like you really start to feel for Park because maybe he'd been cheated on and divorce happened because he got cheated on. Come to find out he was the one that was cheating. And he was like, yeah, then I drove home from the medical conference and I was like, oh, well then, so this guy is kind of a jerk still. So that was a really interesting moment. But they find out, Jordan, that what's happening is that the cream that they use to help with, what is it? Is it the heart cream that is causing some of the issue?
She's
That
putting in. She mixed up the things, right? There's like some
and then hemorrhoid
heart cream,
cream.
and then the
Yeah.
hemorrhoid cream, and she's putting the
Yes.
hemorrhoid cream
On
on
the heart.
right, and then like the other cream on the hemorrhoid cream, and it's
Yes.
like affecting. It's having different reactions.
Yes. He is basically absorbing this quicker at a rate much higher than you would obviously the heart through your butt. And so that is why he is passing out. But we get more JD. We get more Turk and Elliot moments too. I think it's always cool that and Turk and Elliot have always had kind of this relationship where they're always checking in with one another. But I think Elliot as well is trying to figure out if she can trust again getting out there. So obviously she's still reeling from the divorce and stuff. We see Wes and her kissing, and then our final scene really is our final couple of scenes is the Turk kind of getting on the the interns for losing their patient, and they're kind of learning their lesson. But at the end of the day, I think most of this episode was set up to try to progress Elliot and JD along. And after the fallout of their divorce, I feel like Elliot and JD always try to nitpick the people that they find to be somebody that they think they can date. They're always trying to find something that's wrong with them. And Turk is always there to be like, you can't always just start to nitpick because you're going to find something with people if you're looking for it.
Yeah. Do you want me to go through the ratings real quick?
Yeah. Yeah, because I think that was pretty much it for the episode. Oh, we did get a Todd. We got a couple of Todd moments. Todd was in this episode, but other than
Yes,
that, like it really was just setting up that
and potentially getting set up with the harpist.
yes, yes. So we all was really. I mean, this episode was I thought a really good episode, but really progressing our relationships of Elliot and Wes. We've got Amara and Asher, whatever that's going to turn out to be, and maybe we are getting a little bit of because I think it is interesting they pit Tosh and Blake together because it does seem like you said that there may be a little bit of a romantic thing there eventually, and maybe that's kind of setting up this type of
It's one of those like
relationship.
opposite attracts, or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
like,
that's a good point.
she seems blinded by the charm, so maybe, or like
Yeah,
against the charm, so
yeah,
maybe she'll find him. Maybe that's who he'll open up to because he doesn't feel like she will. She doesn't like not like Amara and the others where she's like love struck by this guy. With how pretty he is. It's like she sees me for my real self. I can open up to her maybe.
right.
Maybe you can get deeper with the characters that way.
Yep.
All right, so when the show started off, it started with 4.413 million viewers. It dipped. It hit a low last week with 3.070, but went up this week. And then the important 18 to 49 demographic, 0.66 is what it started at. It went down to a 0.55, 0.49. A low on episode 4 with 0.39, and then rose the last 2 weeks, 4.44 and then a 4.5 this week. So the last episode, it increased in both the demo and the viewers. We have 3 more episodes. This is obviously just the ABC numbers. It's still in the top, like it was I think Friday. I saw it in the top of Hulu shows. So it's still doing well. Some shows are starting to get canceled and renewed now, so we could be hearing any time now, really, if it's going to get renewed.
Yeah.
They also could wait till the end of the season because they do a thing called upfronts in May, where they kind of show their new schedule for the fall and stuff, and it could also be announced in May. But we're approaching April, so I think the finale is mid-April. So sometime probably between now and May, we're going to know if we should expect a second season. My forecast is good. I think it's a good, with how they touted the numbers recently and stuff. I think they're happy with it. I think they're going to end up renewing this for another season.
Yeah, and as far as you're probably more well equipped to answer this one. Like as far as like if they were going to continue in the fall, like they don't usually start doing the next season stuff until like probably what?
August.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So usually TV shows start filming and writing in August, and then they're usually only a few weeks ahead of time.
Okay. I thought
at
so.
that point.
I just didn't know how that changed over when streaming took over.
When they renew it, we will probably know an episode total and if it should be back for the fall or the spring.
Okay.
Because when they do their upfront, so they might just say we're renewing it for season 2. And then when they go to the upfronts in May, they're going to say, here's our fall schedule. And if it's not on the fall schedule, then we should expect it to be a winter show like it is now.
Okay.
That's how it usually works. For people that don't know, like I really look at all this type of stuff a lot, especially back in the day. And the only time I've been blindsided is when Superstore was canceled for season 6 because it was still the highest rated.
That was wild.
It was still the highest rated comedy on NBC, and I was like gobsmacked at that, and it didn't make sense. Unless if they were worried about maybe having to re-up contracts with the actors.
Yeah.
So that's sometimes why those shows end before season 7, if that's going to be a thing. But so usually I look at this and and especially with how much they use to build the sets, it's cheaper because it's filming in Vancouver. I just think the outlook is good. I think the outlook is good.
I think the number. See, that's the thing with ABC, Disney. especially if something does well, they do not want it to go anywhere. So Disney will often throw whatever they need to at people.
Mhm.
And Scrubs has been a hit. And every time that they did they did the media tour, Jordan, it felt that the actors were, I mean, the actors are talking, right? That they want this to be at least, 3 seasons from what I've gathered, like, and more if possible, because they don't sound like they're like, because Bill Lawrence said this is not on the same kind of plan that Shrinking was, where like the storylines and stuff would be 3 seasons. He said as long as Disney wants to keep renewing the
These
contract
are
and
different
ABC,
shows, right? Like,
yeah,
if you watch Shrinking or Ted Lasso, they're comedies, they have a decent amount of episodes, like 12 a year, right?
yeah,
But they're not like the prestige television in the level of this is a sitcom on network television, which means that I actually have a pretty good feeling that this might be a full season next year. I
me
know some
too.
people think that it's only going to be like short because all these shows are short, but
I don't
network
think so.
TV comedies like Abbott Elementary
Yep,
still usually have 18 to 20 some episodes a season. So I think that that's what they're going to try to do.
I agree.
You have
I
the hit
agree.
show, you don't want it to when it airs on TV with ads, right? That's how you're getting your money is through ads. You want to have that show on as much as you can throughout the season. So I would expect like a 20 some episode or 16 episode season.
Especially when those ads have Zach Braff and Donald Faison in them.
Right, right.
So it ain't going anywhere. Like that's what I've always felt. I was like, this was a monstrous show when it was out originally, and I don't know if you're catching up and you didn't watch it when it first aired. Like this was a massive show. And I think its fan base has shown up and have loved it. Like the show, those numbers that you presented, Jordan, said it's not only capturing those people, but now, and that's what Bill Lawrence said he was really excited about. He says it seems to have captured the new generation as well, because he goes, we got way more viewers than we did when this originally aired, which was cool. So I'm really excited. I love this show. I was so giddy today. I felt like an idiot. I was like laughing / my eyes were watering because I was just so happy. Like it was the West moment when they're sitting at the table. And I was just thinking, like, I'm just so glad that my show growing up when I was a teenager is back and like makes me feel the same that it once did. And that makes me so excited because they've tried this with others and it has not done as well. And it's kind of let me down a little bit. But this is such a great show and I really enjoyed it. Anything else you want to add before we head on out?
No, I'm just really excited for this week because it's my best friend's barbecue episode. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm hoping we get some good stuff there. Maybe the return of Carla, maybe the return of Cox or Jordan. And I don't know. I just want to see somebody in this because we've only seen Cox once still.
Yeah. Neil Flynn
Um,
is also supposed to be around too.
he's in
So,
the finale, they said. So
oh,
that
was
is,
it? Okay.
yeah, that's what I read.
Okay.
So we're looking at, you know, Cox should be in one or two more. Well, we got three left. So I'm assuming maybe this in the finale for Cox.
Yes.
Jordan, maybe this one would make more sense than the finale because she would just be there as like a social thing.
Hmm.
And Carla, because it sounds like Turk is hosting.
Yep.
Right. So I feel like maybe we get some good stuff this week.
Yep. All right. If you were over on the YouTube, thanks for watching over there. You can like, subscribe, comment, and give us some feedback there. You can find us anywhere you find your audio podcast as well. And Jordan, where can people find your stuff? What are you working on? What's some things that people can be looking forward to?
Yeah, over on Soups and Sabers, we just released our Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 1 coverage. Later tonight, I'm actually recording our Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer and some
Nice.
Doomsday trailer talk with my buddy Casey. I have a podcast with him called Films for the Very First Time. We talked about the Scrubs revival, first 2 episodes on there as well. And we pretty much just pick things that the other one hasn't seen before, and we have that going on right now. Those are my big projects that I'm currently working on, and then we'll see what else happens.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. A Harry Potter trailer just came out, so I gotta do that recap at some point too. And then I think I asked you before if you wanted to jump on for that,
Yeah.
but I'm looking forward to that. That comes out in December. Jordan, we got Harry Potter in 2026. Man, we are so back into the early 2000s.
That
It's not
was the
even funny.
shocking bit, is that it was this year, because
Yeah,
it originally they said 2027. So
right. Yeah,
pretty
and people
interesting.
were talking like spring, not even
Yeah.
winter. I was like, dang, we really jumped up. So
I was thinking January, February, and it ended up being December. So it's not
yeah.
super early, but yeah,
And I did
still a
read
shock.
somewhere, I read somewhere too that supposedly they filmed some for season 2 already. I was like,
Yeah, it
that's
sounds
weird.
like that's what I thought too. And then I was just reading a quote from the HBO guy that said that they're writing it right now. So
Okay.
who knows?
I was gonna
I,
say, I was like,
I
what the
thought they
heck?
were casting season 2 and stuff. So I don't really know.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff coming up on this channel, on Jordan's channel. So make sure to go over and check that out. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We will see you next week when we talk, hopefully, about a return of Dr. Cox and Jordan.